Last week, we talked about sex, and we answered some of the most common questions that we've been asked about sex between husband and wife. And you probably were looking at that. Some of you might have been looking at that like, that's all good. That sounds great, but we're not there.
Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the Thencomeslove podcast. We are your hosts, Wendell and Anidra, and we've started this podcast, Thencomeslove, because we want you to understand what love really is. And I think we all get into marriage and we think we know what love is, but as you've walked through some things in your marriage and you've seen how God has carried you through it and how he's been faithful to you through those things, then you really start to understand, okay, this is what love really is. And love is patient, love is kind. We all know the scripture. But we feel like when we get married that love is enough. And sometimes when we're talking about sex, it has nothing to do with love. Maybe there's some sort of disconnect. I love you, but there could still be a disconnect. So we want to talk about that today. We want to talk about that today because there might be some people who are like, look, that all sounds great. I love my spouse. But when it comes to the sexual, there's some sort of disconnect in there.
Because we get married, we think about the white picket fence. You know, you first connect and everything's great. And I love you. You're beautiful. You love me. And then we have trials and tribulations. And then we have ups and downs. And then we have bad credit. Folks get sick. Parents get sick. Life just happens. We got married young. We didn't experience life. And then now all of a sudden I look at you and it's like, you ain't as fine as I thought you was when we first got married. And vice versa.
Love ain't got nothing to do.
Love ain't got nothing to do with it. And so the connection is not there. We can talk about holding hands. You can tell me what to do, what not to do, but he still get on my nerves at the end of the day. He still make me. He just
There's just no desire there.
No desire there.
Yeah, so, you lost that.
So what can we do? What must we do? First of all, I think the first thing we need to do is identify there's a problem. Identify there's a real issue. I like to sweep things under the rug and ignore it and just forget about it and just do better. That ain't gonna work.
I like what you said about identifying the problem because I think there are probably several reasons why people lose that disconnect, but I think one of the reasons is there might be. I'm gonna speak for as a woman.
That's all you can do.
There could be times where we feel like we don't feel you are physically attracted to us. Maybe our bodies have changed. We've had babies. We've gained weight. Baby or no baby, we gain weight. We just don't feel good about ourselves. So if we don't feel good about ourselves, we don't feel that you desire us in that way. There could be a sickness.
It's funny you said this.
There could be some sort of sickness that they're walking through, anything, and you feel like I just don't, and you could lose the desire in that way. Or maybe it's the distance and you're lacking communication.
But what's so crazy is, and I've talked to other fellas about this here. You feel that way. We have told you you're fine. We told you we still want you. We told you let's get down. We told you, girl, come on, girl. And you still feel the way you feel. So it can't be from anything that we've done. It's just maybe it is something we've done and we haven't realized it. But this is what I don't understand.
It could be the person. It could be me that I cannot get out of my own head. No matter how much you tell me, I don't care about your stomach, girl, or I don't care about this. It's in my head. You can tell me that all you want, but I don't believe that. And so I think you just that there's you. Okay. So the only thing I would say with that is, if that is you and you feel like you don't feel like your spouse is physically attracted to you no matter what they say. That's like I asked Wendell, do I need to lose weight? No matter how much weight I gain, he always says no. I don't need you to lie to me. I need you to be honest. And so I think that's where it comes from. Now that we started that. Wait, let me finish my thought. That's exactly where that comes from. Because I know that in the past, you haven't been completely honest. When I know that I've gained weight, And then you'll say, no, babe, you don't need to lose weight. And I'm like, that's a lie, because I do. And so when it comes to you telling me I don't care about your stomach or whatever, I don't believe you, because I know in other times that you have not been honest, not because you're trying to be deceitful, but because you're trying to, you feel like that's not, you love me and you don't want me to feel bad about myself, all of those things. But I think there is a way that we can have that conversation.
Sure. But let me say something to that real quick. When I tell you you're okay, I'm just saying you're not big enough that I'm gonna leave. You all right. You ain't got to worry about losing weight. I'm still gonna be here. That's what I meant by you all right. And now there have been times I'm like, hey babe, remember that time I was like, hey babe, that's when I let you know. So why would I be lying? You just assume
so I'm just saying, if I felt that, that's where those things come from. Like, you may be saying something to protect your spouse and think you're protecting them, but they need you to be honest.
Really hurting you in the long run.
In the long run. Okay. And there's a way to do that. There's definitely a way to do that, and maybe we can talk about that on another episode. But I was gonna say that for me, if I've ever felt like that, there are times I'll be like, Wendell, cut off the lights. Because
I don't. Had lights on.
Yes, because I don't want you to see.
Turn things on, girl. I want to see.
You want to see everything when we're intimate, and I'm like, no, cut off the lights, because I don't want to.
It's not because I'm ugly.
No, it's because be quiet.
You ugly? Is that why you?
It's because I feel ugly, and so
you shouldn't feel no certain.
If I felt a certain way, then I'm like, cut off the lights or whatever. So I would tell you, if that is you, get creative. Turn off the lights. Let's do it. Let me blindfold you. Something, and that's only putting a Band-Aid on something.
Okay, so
I'm saying you still need to deal with it. You still need to communicate.
Sure. So if you're feeling that way about yourself as a woman, as your husband, I've failed you somewhere. I failed you somehow. So there's some things that I need to do to prioritize you, to make you feel like the queen you should be, for instance.
But it's not all on you.
It's not all on me, but I play a big role. This is what I mean. Like recently, well, not recently, we've been doing this for a while. Every morning before I go to work, the first thing I do is I go over and put on my clothes and get dressed and everything, and then I go to her side of the bed, and I don't care how she sleep, I kiss her on her cheek
every morning,
and I tell you, hey, I love you. I love you so much. I can't wait to see you later on today, okay? You go back to sleep. And I do that every morning.
And if he doesn't, I'm like, were you mad at me?
Right.
Did I do something?
And then after that, soon as she gets up, I try to call her. I give her a phone call.
We talk every morning.
I says, hey, I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you, and that I love you, and I want you to have a great day. And then when I come home, the first thing I want to do is come give you a kiss and tell you that I love you. And then I think that what I'm trying to do is make you the main character in my story, in my life, to make you the star of my life. I want to continue to love on you and to kiss you, and to make you and let you know that I'm always thinking about you, and that I think you are so fine, and I can't wait to come home to you.
You trying to?
And this is what I'm. You see what I'm saying? See, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what you gotta do. But seriously though, all seriously though, I think sex starts as soon as you wake up in the morning, and not just 5 minutes before you get ready to do the thing. I try my best to let you know that I love you. I think about you all the time. You mean everything to me, and it consistently goes. And even if I don't get any that day, that's fine. I continue to do it. So when it's time,
we can have all of the moments that we talked about last week.
Chasing waterfalls, listen to the rivers and the lakes that you used. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about all the foreplay because she's right there. She's right there.
Yes.
So that's something that us guys that we can do. I know I said that we could wash dishes. That's just for me. She loves when I help her clean and cook. But all these things that we're being intentional about, to help her, to keep her I love that man. That's our job as men to do. That's our job. We can't just work all day and come home and girl, give me some. No, I don't work like that. She has to know that you adore her. And I try to do that. And sometimes I fail, sometimes I get on her nerves, sometimes she get on my nerves. But that's my goal. So if she's feeling like she's not attractive, if she's feeling like she's not all that, some of that's my fault. That's how I view it.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but there's some things that we have to believe about ourselves too. We can't depend, and I think that's where we get in trouble in marriage. We depend on our spouse to be it to be the everything, and we have to have that confidence in ourselves. But I get what you're saying. If I'm the ugliest thing or the biggest thing in the world, if you keep telling me I'm fine, at some point I'm gonna believe that over what I believe about myself.
Yeah.
But you're right, and we do try to be intentional about. You're very intentional about that. But I'll say something too. There's a part that we play in that, and when you talked about when you get home, you're kissing me or whatever. I think part of the disconnect is a part of getting to the root of why you're experiencing that disconnect is to is the pressure that you feel from work, like you talked about bills and all that. You got to remove those things. I know when I come home, like he said, he's kissing me on my forehead. Give me a kiss, babe. I want lips and all of this stuff. And I'm like, ugh. Because I'm in the middle of doing something. I'm cooking dinner. I'm doing my thing. Now, I am a doer. I'm a doer. So in the story of Mary and Martha, I am Martha and he is Mary. Okay. So he is sitting at Jesus' feet, dropping everything he needs to do, living in the moment. I am Martha. I'm busy trying to get things together for Jesus. I'm doing all the things. And so when he interrupts me, I'm getting irritated. And so a few weeks ago, we watched a video where he showed me a video of what that really means to a man. And I don't know if you want to share a little bit on that.
I don't remember much about the video, but basically it was just saying that, hey, when I go to my woman and I hug her and hold her and I give her a kiss and she's like, get off me, get off me. He takes it as a form of rejection. Oh, well, she's not attracted to me. Or she doesn't want me.
That's your way. I think he said that's your
my
way of
showing
close.
you I love you, that I prioritize you, I'm connected to you. And for you to reject me like that, it just kind of just breaks.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't really remember it much, but it was something along those lines. And so that's what it kind of felt like, because for me, you're cooking and cleaning. I'm like, give me a kiss. And you're like, give me some cheek. And I don't want no cheek.
I don't like kissing.
I don't want no cheek. I don't want some wet lip. I don't want no dry kisses neither. Get them ready. All right, give me some wet lip, girl.
Whatever.
Here she go. I don't like that. Or give me a kiss and you be like, oh, here. I'm like,
Cause I'm busy.
stop what you're doing.
Yeah, and so I did have to start doing that. I've been very intentional about making sure. I'm like,
You've been a really good job. Matter of fact, I want you to know that I see your improvement.
I see it in myself.
You ought to.
I see it in myself. I'll stop.
Do it.
I'll stop in the middle of cooking dinner. I'm like, oh, let me give you a kiss. And so intimacy is not just sex. I mean, it can, if we want to have all of those things that we talked about, this is some of the things that we have to do before that. And so I've been very intentional about making sure I stop and kiss and flirt and date, do all of those things that we did, because, sometimes, life gets in the way and you do all the things that you do. The other thing I will say too, that another reason why, especially not just women, because I think both men and women experience trauma, and I think it's okay for me to go here.
I mean, yeah, man.
Both men and women experience trauma, and I think that can also play a part sometimes.
Sure.
And it could be the enemy just trying to like remind you of something that happened to you, and then that. But then you're not communicating it to your spouse and they don't know. And then before you know it, you had sex at one time, something triggered you. Then the next time your spouse is trying to have sex with you again, you don't want to do it because of the last thing you experienced, but you're not telling him about it.
And I think it's something I did.
Yeah. And so that, you see what I'm saying? You see what we're saying? That's how you start to experience that disconnection. And so communication is so key.
It's the biggest. Yeah.
And I will go a step further and say that, sometimes, and Wendell will say this about me, one of my blind spots is I am very OCD. I'm a perfectionist. I want to be perfect at all things. And if anybody tells me that I'm not, I get offended.
Yeah.
And so when you are trying to have a conversation with your spouse about something that is as sensitive as you triggered me in this moment, or this doesn't feel good to me, or whatever you're saying about sex, I would say pray first. Just, let's, hey, before I need to have a conversation with you, can we just take a minute to pray real quick? And in your prayer, like, God, help us to be honest. Help me to communicate this in a way that my spouse doesn't feel offended or I'm attacking him or her in any way. I mean, those are just practical things that you could do.
I just be praying, Lord, help her not to have attitude when I come in here. Lord help. And I gotta say, you did an excellent job.
Yeah.
You did an excellent
Without
job.
you praying.
Yeah, okay. I had to think about it. I'm sure
But that took 27 years for me to get to that point.
I mean, you got there, yo. I mean, it's, hey.
But I think communication is so
It's the most important
key.
thing. Because as guys, I know for me, I don't like to talk. She would make me talk, force me to talk. And I'm like, because I'm not very detailed or descriptive about things, so I just say, how you doing? I'm all right. I don't know. Because I really don't know. Because I have never really stopped and thought about certain things. I'm getting off subject.
No, that's good. No, I think that's what you could. But that's why if you follow us, that's why we did the 7-day marriage challenge. And out of that 7-day marriage challenge, we really had some really good discussions, because it made you think. It wasn't just a yes or no question. You really had to think about how you feel. And in those moments, I felt close to him, and it made me want to have sex with him, because he was being vulnerable and sharing how he really felt. There was some tears in there on both sides, and it just was good. It was good. It was good. So we're saying, if you're there and you're like, first of all, please don't ignore the fact, if you have not, now a week, 2 weeks, I think that's fine for not having sex. Now, we talked about this last week. If you have not established, if you guys are not on a normal rhythm of having sex, I would suggest you start there. Ask the question, how many times is enough for you, and vice versa, and you guys agree on that. The second thing is, you need to talk about things that there may be disconnect in your relationship. But what I was saying with that is, it is not okay to not have sex with your spouse for months and years on end. If there's some sort of physical condition or something like that where you can't, then that's totally okay.
We ain't talking about that.
Yeah, but if it's outside of that, I'm saying if it's because there's a disconnect in some way, anything out of a disconnect is what I'm saying, because we know that there are physical things that people can't.
So if I'm not attracted to you no more,
that's not an excuse. So what we're saying is, if there is a reason, if you have not had sex with your spouse outside of you absolutely can't, that is not okay. And you need to have a conversation. Like, okay, it is not okay to not have a conversation with your spouse, to be married, living in the same house, and not having a conversation about sex.
Yeah. I think in marriage, what I've learned these past few years, and especially now, that it all comes down to communication, because you can avoid so many issues by communicating. You can uncover great things just by talking. And I know it sounds so elementary. I feel like it's so silly that I'm seeing this, but like I said, we bury so much, we throw so much under the rug, but to sit and talk, it just really helps the marriage. And I mean, I'm gonna beat this drum probably out. This won't be the last time you hear me talk about communication, because it's
the foundation of. And I would take this a step further. I mean, we know our story and my experience of infidelity. And I think when you don't have those conversations about sex, when somebody is feeling, if there's a disconnect, men have that need, and women have, it's more of an emotional connection for us. It's a physical connection for y'all. So if I feel like I'm not getting my emotional needs met, and you're feeling that you're not getting your physical needs met, that's where the enemy comes in. And then he sends somebody else who compliments you and who rubs you in one way, or and you start to feel good about that, and then you cross boundaries that you shouldn't cross. Vice versa. Not that I'm saying it's okay, infidelity. It is not okay. It is not okay. It is a sin. It is not okay for you to step out on your spouse because you're not getting your physical or emotional needs met. You have to talk about it. And it is on you if you do not talk about it and you step out and you do that. because then you're going to have to stand before God for what you did. Whether you believe in God or not, you're going to have to stand before God, and you're going to have to give an account for what you do. And so it's not, you need to think about that when you're talking, when you and your spouse stood before a pastor, a judge, or whatever, you made a commitment before God.
And what they say? What they say when you get married? What God has joined together,
Let no man put asunder.
And then what do you do when you get divorced? You turn around and let the man do what?
Put asunder.
I don't understand it.
And not that that's a whole nother conversation.
Later time.
Yeah, later time. But I'm just saying you need communicate. I said that to remind you that communication is very important. And if you're afraid or nervous about how your spouse is going to take it, we don't want anybody to feel attacked in any way. Pray before you have the conversation about the topic of sex and your needs about not being met or the disconnect. Please pray. Pray together. Have a conversation. And then, as you start to feel, because there needs to be some sort of safety when you're having sex. I need to trust you. I need to feel safe with you.
Right.
And if I don't feel safe, then you can't have sex. So it's have the conversation first. And then all those things we talked about last week.
Yes.
Climbing walls, all of those things, you can get there. You can get there, but you got to do the work.
Yeah, it takes work. It takes work.
It does. You cannot just avoid the work.
This just ain't, cause we just work at that thing. Marriage is hard.
It is. And so we want to, as we always say, we hope this has encouraged you. We hope that we're being a blessing to your marriage. Look, we're all in this together. We get to learn from one another.
Yeah.
And so, hey, if you got questions, comments, please
feedback,
put it in the comments, whatever you want to do. If you want to send us some questions, you can send it to the Thencomeslove podcast at gmail.com. We would love to answer any questions that you have that maybe you're afraid to ask. So let's do it.
I gotta continue making her priority so I can set some things up for later on. But until then, we love y'all. See y'all
next
week
time.
At the Thencomeslove podcast.
Holla.